Hey, what's up, Silas here? Just a quick video. I'm out here doing some deliveries for some vegetables, helping my mom out in the company she's starting. I'm going to probably talk about that more later. But, okay, this farming thing. The farming thing, there's just a few things I want to say on the whole occupational thing and this thing that's going on in the United States of America right now. In the Supreme Court of the United States of America, there's a case going in there about a baker who didn't want to bake this cake for this gay couple. This homosexual couple came to him and they wanted a cake. He has a store where he has a storefront where there's already ready-made cakes, and he said, yes, you can go ahead and buy any of these cakes that are in there, but I'm not going to use my artistic skill to decorate a cake and make a cake specifically decorated for your gay wedding. Or is it homosexual wedding? Gay wedding. And these people sued him, and then now they took it to court. They took it to the court, and it went up to the Supreme Court of the United States of America. And this is going to be a precedent-setting thing to see, can someone decline services? The baker said this was based on his religion. Now, in the Bill of Rights, the Constitution, it says somebody's religious rights cannot be infringed on. The way somebody wants to practice a religion, they have certain protections for that. So he's arguing on that. I even want to go further. I think anybody should be allowed to deny services to anyone else for whatever reason they want. I mean, no one should be forced to do anything to provide any service, and nobody should be forced to pay for any service that they want or don't want. So some people, of course, are talking about, yes, there's other cases where this has happened before. Like, for example, this example they give, they say, okay, look, what if a Jewish baker is forced to make a Nazi cake or something like that, and then the Jewish baker was actually surviving of that? Or let's say a black baker was forced to make a KKK cake, and they say, yes, this should still happen. I'm like, no. People say, if you're in the service industry, you have to serve. I wonder with these people, do you believe in the minimum wage? Do you believe they should be a minimum wage? Because technically these people are in the service sector. Shouldn't they just serve? I mean, they chose to enter the service sector, so why should they demand $15 an hour, as they're saying in certain places? I mean, here in Nairobi, you'll see certain places. I'll probably do a separate video on the minimum wage, because with the minimum wage thing goes further. Why should it be limited to the United States of America? Why should it be limited to New York City? Why isn't it a global minimum wage? Because there's people here who work very hard jobs. I'm here delivering vegetables here to a restaurant. People here in service sector things, they're not making $15 an hour. They're still serving food. They're still cooking food. Why shouldn't they make $15 an hour if you're saying that's a living wage or that's something that has to be there? So, goes back to this thing. When somebody says, if you're in the service sector, you have to serve, I ask them, sorry, there's some car washing going on over there. You can check it out. So that might be the background noise that you guys are hearing. But anyway, so if you're in the service sector, most people, even if they say you have to serve, there's going to be a situation where at least most reasonable people, even if they say this, they'll say that yes, you at least have to pay somebody, so you cannot just do this without paying the person. So they understand there's a level, there's some prerequisite for that service is some form of payment. Now, I think they would also say you shouldn't be compelled to do something that would risk your life, that would kill you. Now, that's another thing, depending on who the person is. Doing something rather mundane could kill them with somebody else. Like, for example, if somebody's in the service sector and they're really, let's say they're a lot weaker than I am, and you ask them, okay, you're being paid to do this, you decided to enter this job, you have to lift these things, and then that could actually injure them. So what would you do in that kind of situation? So it goes further from that, and then you think of, so there's a limit. You have to pay, and you have to be able to not risk your physical body when you're doing these things. All right, just a little more on this. So back to the cake thing. If somebody is in the cake business, and then I go in and they say, okay, this person has to make the cake. If you're saying that, this is why I'm saying it doesn't have to be on religious grounds. What if I go in, the person has decided I am in a business that uses ovens to prepare food. Then I go in there and I say, bake me a brisket. Why? And the person says, no, I make cakes. And I say, no, you make food in ovens, so you have to bake me this brisket. I'm paying you money. I'm giving you money, you have to make me the brisket. You probably say, no, he doesn't have to do that. He's handling cakes. Now, if you say he's handling cakes only, what if this person is specializing in a shop that only makes cakes with white icing? Then I say, okay, I want a Nazi flag icing with the red and the swastika and the black, like swastika with the red flag. And he says, no, I don't want to do it on grounds that I don't use food coloring in any of my food. And I say, no, you have to make me that cake. So where exactly does this line end on things that people have to do for you when you pay them? And that's why I think freedom of association is a key thing. It's not, I mean, people say this is a tough subject. It's not a tough subject. Anybody should be allowed to refuse the services of anyone, and you should be allowed to refuse to provide services to anyone. When you force somebody to do anything, that's the main difference between slavery and freedom. So it's not a tough question. It's just freedom of association across the board. Okay, bye.